Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader. Last time we leveled ourselves up a bit. We reached the exemplar archetype and so we spent most of the episode going through all of our characters, looking at the different talents we can pick and different combinations and stuff like that. And then we decided on our next destination, which... What's this one? What does it say? Go to the world of Quetzaltimur. We're not actually going there, though. That's interesting. We'll have to stop by there. We're going back to the capital here to help out Abelard's family because they're in trouble. So let's go ahead and start warping around. Colony Kiavagama has begun a new stage of development. That was quick. I wonder if this goes on outside the game? I don't think so. That was just really quick. False Wonders. We get profit factor time or +3 and 6 more people. Times 6 people. So we got a lot of people now. And we got False Wonders. Okay. What did that do again? Is that one of the rank 5 ones? 4 ones? Okay. Neat. So what we need for this is the Crucible, right? After millennia of lying under the monastery, the launch of Saint Cognatius's titanic machine nears. Ooh, like that. And this takes 3 promethium, 3 mechanisms, 2 chemicals, and 2 phlogiston. Okay, we have enough, and it gives us 9 provision, 2 more profit factor, 4 complacency, and we gain the Holy Woman feature. 10% damage for 2 turns and 20 temporary wounds. The character uses their origin ability. I do think we need Lightbringers too, don't we? What does this give us? Ooh, 5,000 rep for the Imperial Navy. I do like that, but I think we're gonna go for this. See if any... Yep. Darganas is finished praising the muses here. Profit factor +5. Really getting our profit factor up. That's good. We're gonna have to stop by the shop. Okay, so we can't get Bastion yet because we need missionaries, and that's what we need for this, right? Yeah. How do we get missionaries? That must be from another planet. Foulstone. Okay. Then I guess we'll go for Holy Prophet here. Doesn't cost anything, just 4 profit. The due date of the tithe approaches, and by using corrupted schematics, it is possible to keep both the psychers and the gold. I like it. Alright, Vabos 6. -3 profit factor. 18 people, though. And -5 security. Ugh. Captive Xenos. Yeah, security's not looking too great here. Okay. So to get Penal Battalion, we just need more weapons. Alright. Pure Blood, the rogue trader may grant the convicts the right to buy, with their labor, the freedom of their children born in captivity. That's just 5 profit right there. I'm going for that. And that's a genuinely good thing to do. Lord Captain, a strange anomaly has been detected on Kiavagama. A series of orders, defined as Procedure 0C, forced itself into the production algorithms. The servants of the Omnissiah define its execution status as most sacred, and therefore follow its instructions impeccably. In just one cycle, cameras were erected in all the manufacturums, connected by the computing channels of the cogitators. They make a pattern similar to those applied to the digital cells of the machine spirits. The 0C procedure commands Magi with an above-average psi receptivity index to enter the cells. Those tech priests who took their seats in the cells fall into a blissful data dream, where they listen to Benharic hymns, very similar to those that periodically whirred from the warp vox of Cubus Delphim. The performance of the manufacturums has dropped. Many of the machine god's servants have abandoned their posts and are pleading for the privilege of fulfilling Procedure 0C, but the enforcers have taken custody of the cells and ward these volunteers away from them. What do we know about this procedure? Could it be part of Delphim's legacy? We cannot trace the source of the signal that activated it or figure out what it means. The tech priests oppose the idea of researching the procedure, as it violates the sacrament. Supposedly, the minds of the Magos immersed in the cells are involved in some grand-scale computation. The servants of the Omnissiah have tested the cogitational network 7 times with purifying algorithms of varying degrees of severity, proclaiming it clean. Perhaps my advisors have a few words? We can run Procedure 0C. We get armor refraction. Oh, it's an actual piece of armor. It is heavy armor. Ooh. This carapace grants the wearer 1 deflection and 10% armor if the wearer has moved during their turn. That's kind of nice. Research this procedure. We have to know what we are dealing with. We will get Secrets of Ancient Cybersmiths. All allies deal 5 logic divided by 15% more energy and machine damage. That's pretty nice. Take all the Magos out of their cells and destroy them immediately. That loses complacency. But we get Abolisher of Procedure 0C. All allies deal 10% more damage to part machine, and Necron creatures. Even the Omnissiah's metal spirits do not dare to force their will upon the rogue trader. Alright, advisors. Heinrichs. A signal seemingly from nowhere that has the highest execution priority. A perfect weapon for capturing the planet. It should be anathematized, and I am ready to summon a cadre of competent Texorcists? I don't know. Texorcists? Yeah. From the Inquisition. Okay. Does that give it the penalty for Abolisher of Procedure? We're going to go with that then. I know we usually favor the tech priest side, but this seems like heresy. So the proper thing would be to the proper way to protect them would be to destroy it. And unfortunately, Heinrichs is the only guy who gave us advice. I was thinking Pascal would give us some advice, but he didn't. So, I don't know. We're going to go with Heinrichs' advice, though. Plus, I think his bonus was the best. I am familiar with the gifts of the Omnissiah and have prepared several specialists for the Lord Inquisitor's retinue. There will not be any problems. Execution of the poorly understood Procedure 0C was forbidden. In their efforts to root out its directives and remove the Magi from the chambers, the rogue trader's servants faced resistance, resulting in bloodshed and death. However, the Texorcists, there we go, of the Inquisition, who arrived on the planet, tempered the anger of the Omnissiah's servants by confirming the legitimacy of the Lord Captain's actions. Excellent. Profit factor 2, mechanisms times 9. Love it. -3 efficiency, though. Eesh. Alright. Next one. So we can already get the Archive of the Expanse here. That gives us the Eye of the Omnissiah. Provides void ship weapons with targeting data, granting 92% hit chance and 15% critical hit chance. Sounds good. 4 profit factor and 3 efficiency for all colonies. Takes 9 people and 3 mechanisms. Kiavagama will become the main data repository of the Expanse. Thousands of scribes register cargo, and the lenses of watchful cogitators process myriads of documents. Alright. I guess we'll just go get this immediately. I see no reason not to. Do it. Alright, I'm going to be honest, guys. The colony building, I really like it. I really enjoy it. It got some good upgrades and everything. It's simple. Lord Captain, an urgent message. Our enforcers have arrested a dangerous saboteur who attempted to gain entry onto the bridge. This incident may be worthy of your attention. You see, both the saboteur and the circumstances of his capture are rather strange. You cannot tell if Vigdis sounds baffled or worried. I think it would be reasonable for Magos Pascal to take a look at him as well. What is so unusual about the saboteur and the way he was captured? Very well, I'll speak to him. Executing him will suffice. I have no desire to waste my time on trespassers. Why is it strange? The thing is, Lord Captain, the saboteur is most definitely a tech priest. He found his way aboard the ship and penetrated all our security systems with staggering ease. Both his ability to communicate with machine spirits and the combat potential of his augmentations are extraordinary. Nevertheless, the enforcers managed to capture him. During the arrest, the intruder, he offered no resistance at all. Instead, he asked for an audience with the great machine spirit. When he realized that the enforcers had no idea what he was talking about, he asked to meet you. I considered it necessary to appraise you of the situation. This infiltration of a rogue trader ship operated by authorized engineers casts a doubt on my tech comrade's stability. If he is indeed my tech comrade, that is. Regardless, I request permission to communicate with the captive. Very well, I'll speak with him. Understood, Lord Captain. Saboteur will be brought to you. Alright, what's going on? I'm guessing he was wanting to see Nomos. Is my guess. I think that's a pretty good guess. I don't know who else he could be talking about. Unless Abel. I don't know if Abel would have that kind of pull. I don't think he's like a great machine spirit or anything. He's just a survivor. I think he'd probably be well respected by the tech priest, but not anybody you'd break into a rogue trader's bridge for. Come on. Come on, loading screen. Up, up. Be there. Come on. You can do it. Maybe you can't. There we go. The group of servitors, whose movements are suspiciously well synchronized, stares at the towering prisoner. You do not need to hear them speak to recognize Nomos, who has seen fit to attend the interrogation. Asclepius. I love that name. The captured man, if he can be called that, looks positively gigantic next to the enforcers at his side. Deadly-looking metal gleams dimly beneath his faded crimson robes. His hands are folded obediently, and his mechadendrites are perfectly still. I greet the master of this vessel cathedral, and offer my humble apologies for this unbidden intrusion. My apologies to you as well, brother. The interloper inclines his head in the direction of the frowning Pascal. Then the prisoner turns slightly and looks straight at Nomos' observing servitors. And of course, I must beg forgiveness from you, Great Spirit. It was not my intent to desecrate your temple. Before I accept your apologies, tell me who you are and why you infiltrated my ship. I honor the fraternity of the Omnissiah's servants. It pains me to see you trespassing on board like a thief instead of arriving as a guest. Your apologies accepted. For your prompt admission of guilt, I will allow you to choose the method of your execution. Yeah, why don't you guys just... I'm very publicly a friend to the tech priests. What's going on? The giant's shoulders shift slightly. For that, I apologize as well. I did not expect to find understanding amid the suffocating ignorance that abounds within the laity, and even many of my brethren. For this reason, I chose to carry out my mission in secret without seeking your permission. My name, if it matters, is Asclepius, formerly a computator general of the Cognizance Fleet, now a liber recluse, with the status of Malatech. Malatechs are exiles whose ideas have not crossed the line of heresy yet, have come close to it. They are removed from the fleet structure to give them a chance to see folly of their ways and prevent sedition from spreading. Pascal's voice sounds unusually alarmed. All of that is trivial. My past is nothing but a set of archived data. My lost status is a part replacement string in the long chronicle of the Cognizance Fleet. I come not as the priesthood's messenger, but as a faithful disciple of the most holy Amarnat. My brother once served as the engineer prime on this ship. Asclepius gestures around him reverently. He was an adherent of the school of discontinuing the cycle, as am I. It has spread that far? It is difficult to discern Pascal's emotions from his tone. I know that my brother perished, but before he did, he sent me a message that told of a journey embarked upon by Theodora von Valancius, a journey through a dimensional gate. An artifact more ancient than humanity itself and toward worlds unknown. The blessed Armanaut was with her. There, upon those dark worlds, he witnessed a great miracle, the birth of a machine spirit of incalculable might. My brother believed that the spirit then fell aslumber within the ship, like a child in a cradle, not responding to lowly pleas. That was the purpose of my pilgrimage, to reach the ship where my brother died, the ship upon whose deck the blessed Armanaut had walked, and prostrate myself before the great spirit. Armanaut traveled on this ship? Tell me more about Theodore's journey. What do you know about this great spirit? Does the name Nomos mean anything to you? You're strong, yet you let yourself be caught. I have made my decision regarding your fate. Armanaut traveled on the ship? Yes, he did. My brother's words on this were clear. Years ago, Armanaut was part of rogue trader Theodore's inner circle, before their ways parted. Tell me more about this journey. My knowledge of it is scarce. My brother suspected that his memory, along with the memory of all who might have known the details, had been purposefully modified. He saw it as a sign that the journey had revealed a great truth, and there were those who did not wish to see that truth brought to light. All that he conveyed to me was that Theodora had reached worlds unlike any people of the Coronis Expanse had ever seen. There she unearthed a great treasure of technology, one that Armanaut had the privilege of experiencing. What do you know about this great spirit? It is a great miracle, the omniscience breath, meant to help us discontinue the cycle. It was born of the treasure that Armanaut and Theodora discovered upon the dark worlds. Yet even a being so glorious needs attendants and guides, and as long as the Cognizance fleet is racked by schism, and my brothers and sisters suffer defeats without end, there is no one to aid the spirit. That is why I came here. Does the name Nomos mean anything to you? Nothing. He has not come to know us yet. He will if you let him, Imogen. We know. We sense that his words are about us, that the story he has told is our story. I've made my decision. Whatever it is, I will accept it. As will I. And yet I plead that my brother be shown mercy. His story initializes thought. We ask you to keep him for us. Nomos' servitors speak up suddenly in the faintest of whispers. I find you guilty of offenses against the cult Mechanicus and House von Valancius. Your crimes warrant punishment more severe than death. You will atone by serving me and therefore the Imperium. Your actions have caused no harm, and so I shall not harm you. You're free. You may stay on my ship if you so choose. You are now mine, and you shall obey my every whim. You will be executed for your crimes, and my decision is final. Iconoclast. I cannot ask for more. All I wish is to remain in these halls and observe and reverence the Great Spirit's deeds. Let the cycle be discontinued. Nomos' servitors turn their head to you and nod all at once in what can be interpreted as an expression of gratitude. Talk to Nomos. The incident. Okay. We can't talk to Asclepius? Okay. Nomos. I salute the ruler of this ship, as you have found your great spirit, Asclepius. I have found a miracle, and the end of my worldly road. I have never seen and never will see anything more meaningful than the spirit of Nomos. In the face of its multitude, we are all nothing, but the fixed values of an erroneous function. Okay? Do I need to, do something else? Oh! This is all new? You read the databank recovered in the cache. What did you mean by that? Yes, Nomos, remember. You brought us data sustenance, and it contained a name, Epitaph. We recognized it. No, not like that. In the name, we recognized the place where Nomos originated. Nomos suddenly falls silent. Symbols race chaotically across the screen of a huge cogitator, and you hear an almost human groan come from the depths of the machine. Nomos, understand, realize, comprehend themselves. For a moment there is silence, broken only by the moans of the huge machine, and the cyber gargoyle begins to speak, and with it, the other servitors chosen by Nomos. We have analyzed the data with which you sated us, and we have retreated or recreated the sequence of events. First, there is Epitaph. It is a world, but it is merely a case. A container for something we cannot name and cannot understand. Theodora and this ship have been to that place. Something was lifted up from the world, a gift, a trusted priest in crimson, one who identified himself as Armanat. Comprehended the gift raised from Epitaph, and from it he created what the databanks lists as a tech blight. But that is not how Nomos came into being. We were not invented. We were not freed. We came into being by accident. The chorus of servitors sounds genuinely confused, almost desperate. Theodora's ambition, the myriad mechanisms of this huge ship. Armanat's mind, the inquisitive attempts to comprehend and extract. The dormant blight, the dormant epitaph, what lies hidden in its depths. And between it all we slipped in, connected, and emerged like an electrical discharge between the poles. Accident. Incident. That is what we are. We have no purpose, no history. Nomos just are. Do you know where Epitaph is? The data is gone. I discovered the truth about Nomos' achievement. Woo. Deleted, erased, deliberately. But we cannot trace who did it or why. A tech blight? A gift, but a terrible one. You would call it a weapon. Theodora coveted it. She needed it desperately, but we do not know why. How is Armanat involved in this? He desired knowledge. Theodora allowed him to explore the gifts of Epitaph, slaking his thirst. But we know it did not bring him happiness. In the footprints of his slaked thirst, fear followed. That's not good. The blessed Armanat. Oh, this is Asclepius. The blessed Armanat was involved in the birth of the spirit named Nomos. I do not believe for a moment that he could have been frightened by this miracle. It was not us he feared. He did not know us, but only suspected. His mental processes were occupied by the tech blight. That was what he feared. He wanted protection from it. The ship was on Epitaph. Armanat traveled aboard it, investigating the tech blight, and Nomos was born as a result of an incident. So how was it possible that no one in the crew knew the whole truth? Yeah, how? The truth was hidden, deliberately. Your officers' memories were stolen. All the cogitators' memory banks were wiped. It took you feeding us the truth bit by bit for us to piece it together and understand. Who has the resources, the knowledge, and the power to accomplish such a feat? It would have been beyond the capabilities of the blessed Armanat himself, and he would never destroy knowledge. This story disturbs me. It sounds like an echo of the sacrilege, whose name is the preservation of ignorance. The spirit of Nomos must be protected from the encroachments of that power that tried to conceal the truth of its birth. Enough about the past. Let's talk about the future. You do, in fact, have a purpose, Nomos. Then tell us, what is our purpose? To serve the light and the truth, and greatness that is the Imperium. To simply live, comprehending yourself in the world. Life does not need a purpose to justify itself. To be my servant, my blade, a force to be reckoned with by all. To serve the light. To serve the light. To serve the Imperium. The chorus of servitors dutifully repeats your words, but seemingly without understanding them. Nomos is preoccupied. The huge cogitator continues to sing its creaking song, running unknown calculations. Blessed be the spirit. A great path and a great future lie before it, and we must assist it on its way. Take my leave? Oh, we didn't just make a fanatical AI. That might not have been a good thing. Here we go. Alright. We should have a lot more profit factor, right? But our reputation's not high enough. Who do we want to be with the most? Probably the explorators, right? They're kind of our main people. Select tradable. You want to just give him all of it? That would be 3,000. That'll give us enough to get the next level. Do it. Next couple levels. And this gives us this heavy armor here. Fortress World Origin Tempestus Carapace. 2 deflection against ranged attacks and 10 toughness. We will take that. Thank you. And then more advanced medkits. That's always nice. And Omnissiah Holy Symbol. The wearer gains 20 tech use and 20 logic. They can also re-roll failed tech use or logic tests once per test. That's really good. Awesome. Alright, after them, it's the Drusians. Go ahead and trade them all I have. Almost gets us to 15. But we get Roaring Thunder. This Thunder Hammer deals 3 damage and grants a 10% stacking chance to stun an enemy for 1 turn. For each point of the enemy's deflection. Alright. Out of these guys, I think we'd go with these guys. The Casablanca mission. Go ahead and trade 18,000. Oh my goodness. Do it. So we just got 10 ranks. So we're going to have a ton of stuff here. We've got a Hex Rifle. Not as good as my Deadly Repeater. It's a toxin weapon. Okay. We will take it. Outcast's Visor. Whenever the wearer kills a target with a single ranged attack for the first time in combat, the wearer immediately gains an additional attack this round. That's pretty good. Self-calibrating Goggles. The wearer's successful single attack inflicts stunned on the target for 1 round if the target fails a willpower resistance test with a -5 penalty. That sounds nice. Warp Guide Staff. Allies gain the Navigator's Perception bonus to MP for their first turn. That's cool. Storm Bolter. Does it do anything cool? No, it's just a bolter. Probably a good bolter, but that might be good for Ulfar, maybe? The wearer gains 5 willpower each time their abilities affect an ally. This effect remains until the end of combat, and it stacks. Vortex Pendant. Heavy Xenomesh. More heavy armor. 2 deflection against non-human enemies. Probably looks cool, too. We will take it. We got the Mazoa pattern sniper rifle. No, it still doesn't look like it's better hit chance. Worse dodge reduction, though. Okay. But then we get the Bane of Sorrow. 2232. Worse armor penetration. Worse dodge reduction. And worse additional hit chance. So, still not quite better. Although, the rifle does an additional 33% damage to Jakari enemies. Okay, so it will have its use then. Warp Surge Brooch. On the first round of combat, the wearer gains a number of additional attacks equal to their psi rating. Oh wow, that's really good. Red Crystal Staff. The first attacking Navigator power each turn costs 1 AP less. Probably has better 15 willpower, 10 perception. The first use of an attacking Navigator power per turn does not set the power on cooldown. Does not count towards the... So this is a better... Is this a better version of the staff we were using? Looks like it. Red Crystal Staff. And then the Asartes Bolt Pistol. Guessing this is an even better bolt pistol. I like it. Then buy that, and then 3 advanced medkits. Okay, still got things to go, or ways to go for that one. Fellowship of the Void, do you want anything? I do not have anything for you. That's fair. Alright, Imperial Navy. Do I have anything for you? Ooh. X470 Ultimo Array. Boosts our critical hit chance by 15%. That's nice. There's another 5,000 for you. So we can get another thing. Class 5 engine. Provides 13 speed with strong acceleration and braking. Okay. That sounds like a good trade-off. 1 speed for strong acceleration and everything. Alright. So we're done there. We've got a couple of things to give people. So, Heinrich. Newest. Where is it? This one. Equal to their psi rating. Which one of these do we want to get rid of? Oh, is it a necklace? Oh, this is the necklace. Okay. So, at the start of combat, the wearer's allies gain deflection equal to the wearer's psi rating. Okay, that's not bad. What does this one do? There's melee attacks deal an increased damage. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Whenever the wearer hits an enemy in melee range. Okay, we'll keep that. We got a couple of bolters. Are they better than what you have? This looks like it's a straight upgrade from your current bolt pistol. So go and throw that in there. And you can't use this one. That is for you. I'm assuming this will be... Oh, it's not. Not an upgrade? Okay. Fair enough. For me... I think my repeater rifle is still the best one. But I wouldn't mind having this as a backup. We'll just have 2 sniper rifles. That's fine. I don't usually switch very often anyway. We want to give... Well, we want to give you the red crystal staff. Because your current one, the Bloodhound staff. Yeah, this is better. Should be a straight upgrade. And then for you, we want to give you this. Ooh, actually. If only one of the wearer's combat tactics area is active in combat, the wearer gains 20 intellect and 20 fellowship. That is pretty good. But I mean, I do feel like this is the better thing in the long run. Guess we could, if we need to, we could always switch to that. Did you want this? Does she have a buff, a navigator buff? I guess it's just abilities, right? Yeah, we're gonna grab that. Okay. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and head on out. Oh wait, there was heavy armor stuff we got too. It wasn't there. Cannot forget about that. Alright. Oh, is it the same thing? Now this one has one more armor deflection. It is better. Oh, hell yeah. I like it. You can't wear any of that armor, right? You can wear this, and this is 10% armor against Xenos enemies. Oh. Yeah, that seems good. Oh, that looks badass. He looks pretty cool. I like it. Alright. Yeah, the other heavy armor was this one, right? Actually, this one's better. Because the plus 10 toughness is big for him, too. Okay. Oh, man, but this one looks cool. I wish you could wear heavy armor. Oh, well. Okay. Let's get to the capital planet. Darganis. Alright, I guess we go to the palace here. Yeah, we already got Abelard. And this is my crew. Yep. Sorry, Argenta. Sorry, Jay. I wonder if we're now done collecting companions. Because we got Ulfar pretty late. I feel like. I'm pretty sure I was either told in the comments or heard it somewhere. Maybe on a video or something. But I think there are only 5 chapters. And we're on chapter 4. So about, 3/5 of the way through the game. It'd be surprising if we got more companions. I kind of wish we still had Marazai, but what's going on here? Ladies and gentlemen, please stand aside. No need to crowd around. Governor Driveston will take care of everything. Really? This is ridiculous. Such a thing happening right in the Rogue Trader's palace? This is ridiculous. Heads are about to roll. You are confronted by the sight of dead bodies at the entrance to the palace. The corpses have been hauled into a pile. Some are dressed in the uniforms of palace wardens, while others are arrayed in the clothing typical of Darganis nobility. Are these the, Viserians? Upon seeing you, the young enforcer stands at attention and swallows noisily. His voice trembles as he says, "Your ladyship, we are honored by your presence." What's this mess? You see, your ladyship, those people wanted to attack. The warden clears his throat. Second Lieutenant of the Palace Guard, Ellen Wyatt, reporting. Shortly before you arrived, we averted an assassination attempt on the rogue trader. The palace soldiers detected intruders and engaged them in combat. Examine the assailants. Observation. There are rare high-functioning servitor specimens present among the expired units. Such specimens are traditionally bestowed upon the noble houses that are most loyal to the sacred fellowship of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The augmetics of the deceased do differ from the implants of ordinary people. Their intricate construction makes it clear that the deceased were not ordinary humans. Abelard frowns. As far as I know, House Gaprak has received such servitors from the Crimson Priesthood as gifts in the past. Although this is my first time seeing one myself. Where is the court chancellor? Clementia Viserion. I think she is with the rest of House Viserion, detained in the throne room. That is, Governor Driveston has gathered all of Darganis' nobility there to pronounce a guilty verdict on House Viserion. Why is the governor not here to greet the rogue trader? I do not know, your ladyship. Perhaps he is... The guard throws a fearful gaze at Abelard. You could probably find him in the throne room, where the governor intends to put House Viserion on trial. I must take my leave. Alright, governor drives them. The bodies bear multiple wounds. It is evident that they died recently.
My house would be proud of me.
There was a crumpled up letter inside the pocket of an assailant. Assailant's blood-soaked jacket. Did I pick it up? The letter is soaked with blood. Only a portion of the text is readable through the crimson blotches. Earful and discreet. Keep away from the lords and ladies. You must look like a noble to the servants and wardens. Do not engage in conversation with anyone. Your task is to avoid exposing yourself ahead of time and let the Viserions get away while the wardens are busy guarding the rogue trader. Well, that didn't work out, did it? Long live the rogue trader. Yeah.
Intriguing.
I'm excited to get into some combat, to be honest. Test out all the new abilities and weapons and all that stuff. Armor. To be honest, I'm just happy to be out of the Dark City. That place was hell. It was a lot of fun, gameplay-wise, I thought. But, it was tough. Both. I guess the fights weren't too tough, but like the atmosphere was really
I can see the agitation and fear of the servants beside me. But you, how do you manage to drown out their colors with mere words? Their dark hues dissolve immediately, and humility sets in.
I have always desired only respect, not fear. It is good to know that my efforts have not been in vain. Thank you for telling me.
What's the button to fix our formation? It's N. But this isn't right. It should be maybe something more like this. Yeah, that's good. All right. Why is this guy named? Go talk to him real quick. The man, swaying slightly, is mumbling a prayer to the Emperor. Okay.
The world will bow.
What's going on here? Let me through. I have an appointment with the Chancellor Clementia Viserion. My apologies, my lord, but you cannot go any further. Governor Drivestom's orders. This is ridiculous. I shall complain. Move over. Let her ladyship the rogue trader through. Yes, please move over. I humbly beg your pardon, your ladyship. Your ladyship, please, this way. Thank you. Alright. Your ladyship, 'tis an honor. Governor Urban Drivestom seems to materialize out of thin air. So suddenly does he emerge from the crowd. I regret that such unfortunate circumstances have occasioned the rogue trader's visit to the capital. Clementia tries to take a step toward you, but the warden nearby stops her. Her face is veiled with fear and weariness. Your ladyship, you are here. Please, you must hear us out. The rogue trader is undoubtedly here to listen to the testimony of each and every one of us, and to punish the traitors. The governor's words, directed at Clementia, are harsh. They are echoed by the scornful sneers and whispers of the assembled nobles. We have known each other for many decades now, and we have had our fair share of disagreements. But do you really think my flesh and blood would trample upon the very definition of honor and loyalty? Abelard's voice is quivering with rage. The governor sweeps his gaze over Abelard, then replies, a faint shadow of doubt in his voice. We have evidence implicating them, Abelard. I am sure that her ladyship will arrive at a fair ruling. What are the charges against House Viserion? What happened to Darganas in my absence? Why are there dead bodies at the entrance to my palace? Drivestem, you aren't accusing one of Darganas' leading noble houses of treason without airtight evidence, are you? Speak to the heads of the houses present. Do you support the governor's accusations? Your words alone are not enough to make me doubt the loyalty of House Viserion. As a rogue trader, I order you to release them from custody at once. Sabotaging logistics, riots, conspiracy. The case appears to be flimsy. I wish to learn more about before I make my final decision. I do not have time to deal with this, Drivestem. I accept the findings of your investigation and find the Viserians guilty. Why are there dead bodies at the entrance to my palace? Your ladyship, I humbly beg your pardon. Drivestem bows once again, trying to placate you. You see, right before your arrival, the palace guard discovered a plot to assassinate you. Fortunately, the malefactors were disposed of before they could cause you any harm. What's happened in my absence? When we caught wind of the rumors of your disappearance, we patiently awaited news of your return. But then Darganas was struck by a series of terrible events. The first was the sabotage of logistics that hampered shipments. Then mass unrest spread across the entire planet, and the minor noble houses began squabbling among themselves, trying to pin the blame of their rivals. We took great pains to calm them down and managed to quash the revolt, though not without some outside help, unfortunately. These events have also been overshadowed by the, I'm ashamed to even say it out loud in front of you, your ladyship. The rumors circulating among the higher houses. The governor stammers, then takes a deep breath. Some were calling for Theodore's true heir to be installed as head of your house, Conrad Voigtveer. Not all of your subjects have forgotten his past efforts for the benefit of the Trade Protectorate. Drysdale stops talking, watching you with a tense expression. When the investigation was launched, the evidence led us to the Viserians. What are the charges? Disruption of logistical lines, bribery of Adeptus administrative officials, document forgery, and organization of heretical insurrections. On top of the evidently devastating economic impacts that this has had on your protectorate, these criminal acts have impeded the delivery of the imperial tithe, which, in turn, has drawn the administratum's attention. An esteemed member of the Adeptus Arbites is expected to arrive on Dargana shortly, and before they do, we are obligated to identify and punish those responsible. Clementia, wish to hear your account. Your ladyship, House Viserion denies all charges laid against it. Clementia glances at the governor with defiance. These last few months have indeed been trying for Darganas, but we have done our best to remedy the situation. My family's every effort was focused on stabilizing the capital's logistics and economy, so much so that we failed to notice the web of intrigue unfolding behind our back. Do you have any hard evidence? Of course I have evidence, your ladyship. The investigation has established that members of the Viserion family, which is responsible for both Darganas' fleet and its logistics, used their contacts and influence to forge a host of documents in order to undermine the planet's supply routes and economy, thus fomenting unrest amongst the inhabitants. I don't know why I read it like that. Allow me to introduce my son, Cornelius. The governor points to the lanky young man standing beside him. He bows curtly, but avoids meeting your eyes. Cornelius holds a prestigious position in the administrative palace, and it is thanks to him that we managed to identify and trace the entire chain of forged documents. The investigation led us to the perpetrators, who admitted to acting on the orders of the members of House Viserion. It was they who were intent on spreading the idea of restoring the title of Rogue Trader to the true heir. This young man is shrouded in a mist of gray and blue, sickly shadows of fear fluttering around him. Cassia speaks so quietly that only you can hear her. Do you all support the governor's accusations? The aristocrats in attendance exchange glances, the noble lords averting their gazes and the noble ladies hiding behind the fans. No one is willing to be the first to answer. Sourback. Macarius Sourback. Over his many years of service, Governor Drivestem earned Theodora's trust, and he holds his high office for a reason. Sourback's tone is stern and imperious. On behalf of House Sourback, I support his accusations. Toriana Gaprak, your ladyship. Governor Drivestem has always faithfully served the rogue trader of House von Valancius, and concerned himself with the future of your trade dynasty, and so House Gaprak thinks his charges against House Versarian to be sound. The Augmetics hide Toriana's emotion, but her voice sounds slightly timorous. I humbly ask you to allow me to speak in defense of my family's honor. The evidence provided by the governor is utterly false. I cannot refute it, but I can say with confidence that no one from my family has ever tried to forge documents in the Adeptus Administratum, let alone undermine the economy of your capital. Hetka Sourback. Kindly allow me to speak as well, your ladyship. Hetka Sourback offers you an eager bow. The opportunity to serve on your ship is a great honor for me and my family. These charges are grievous indeed, and thus require the attention of the rogue trader. Should you decide to conduct an investigation, I would be happy to assist. Thank you. Your words alone are not enough. I order you to release them from custody at once. I wish to learn more before I make my final judgment. As you wish, your ladyship. The governor inclines his head in a stiff bow. Speak to me when you are ready to announce your verdict. Thank you for your willingness to help, Lord Captain. I am certain that all the charges are false, and I would be grateful for your help in exposing them as such. I think you should speak to everyone present, the noble lords and ladies. Oh boy, we got a little investigation on our hands. Okay. So the Viserians up there, we'll save them for last. I guess we'll go talk to the drive stems first. Cornelius and Urban.
True power.
Governor Drivestem is surrounded by his retinue, who are all dressed in expensive gowns and finery. The matching color scheme of their outfits and the striking physical resemblance among them suggest that they all come from one family. Your ladyship, thank you for giving this case your undivided attention. The governor bows, and the rest hasten to follow suit. I wish to hear your reasoning again. What makes you think the Viserians are behind the plot against me? As soon as the logistical and economic problems gave rise to the initial rumors, we tried to find the person responsible for spreading the calls for Voitvier's return. The investigation showed that some of the documents inside the Adeptus Administratum were forgeries. We can thank my son, Cornelius, for such an astute observation. Your ladyship. A slender young man bows to you awkwardly and nervously licks his dry lips. I assure you that my humble person is undeserving of your attention. Yeah, he did it. Cornelius holds a prestigious position at the Administrative Palace. Sounds like he's in a prime spot to forge things, huh? And it was he who discovered the errors leading to disrupted logistics. Convenient. It is also thanks to him that we found the perpetrators of the forgeries, who admitted to acting on the orders of House Viserion. What do you make of this letter? I found it on one of the assailants. Governor Drivestem peers closely at the bloodstained paper. Looks like another piece of evidence incriminating House Viserion. Perhaps they truly did intend to kill you, or at least cause a stir to help them escape custody during the confusion that followed. What about the Gaprak mention? All of the assailants were high-functioning servitors. Such servitors are only employed by families close to the Adeptus Mechanicus. High-functioning servitors? Drivestem ponders this, rubbing his chin with his thumb. Such servitors are indeed rare, and the Gapraks do have them in their service, but this could have been done intentionally with the eye to confuse you. Anyone with the desire and sufficient funds can hire them. One second. Tell me more about your son. Thank you for your interest, your ladyship, but I'm not worthy of it. The governor's son bows and stands still as he nervously stares down at the floor. Son, show due respect. Forgive him, your ladyship. This is the first time he has had the honor of attracting the attention of the rogue trader. Harmix narrows his eyes and glancing at you, shakes his head. What do you do? I manage the documents and records related to the economy of Dragonis. You probably know how scrupulous the workers of the Adeptus Mechanicus are. I'm afraid that a more detailed explanation of my duties would mirror the administrative process of the Administratum, too long and overly detailed. Cornelius tries to look you in the eye, but it is clearly hard for him to do so. How did you manage to find the forged documents? When compiling reports on the last cycle's supply chain, I noticed inaccuracies and discrepancies in the figures. With the help of the other clerks, I managed to find several other documents. He stammers and slowly swallows noisily. Comprehensive data analysis has shown that the discrepancies were caused by intentional tampering with the data, thus leading to some logistical problems that were practically unsolvable. Father and I have managed to single out the administrative clerk responsible for tampering with the data. Following a heated interrogation, they confessed that they were following the orders of some from House Viserion. Everything was supposed to look as though they were the ones suffering losses from the logistical and economic problems. Does House Viserion have access to the Adeptus Administratum? There's no conceivable way they could do all of this in a place where they do not hold any power. Before replying, the governor's son nervously adjusts his expensive frock coat. I think the right amount of money can open any door. Cornelius, what is the true reason for your nervousness? The young man's pupils suddenly dilate. He stands at attention and replies to you in one breath. This is the first time I have spoken face to face with the rogue trader. I am afraid of saying something wrong or forgetting something important. The governor closely watches his son. His tone changes, now sounding strict and curt. Do you wish to tell the Lord Captain anything else? Place your hand on your weapon. You are speaking to a rogue trader, and my patience is running out. Are you afraid to talk to me? Perhaps you'd be more comfortable speaking to an interrogator of the Inquisition. I see you cannot contain your awe in the face of the grand persona of your lady. I will not trouble you with any more questions. My patience is running out. You see the flash of terror in Cornelius' eyes as he stares at your hand on your weapon. He speaks quietly and confusedly without raising his hand. Forgive me, your ladyship. I can't do it anymore. This lie has gone too far, and I can no longer control it. The truth is that all of the logistical problems were caused by a single error in the numbers. My mistake. What? Urban looks genuinely shocked and enraged. Well, that was easy. Didn't even have to talk to everybody. I'm a little disappointed in that. When I discovered my mistake, it was almost impossible to restore the supply lines. Then I was approached by someone who said they were a friend. They did not give me their name, and I never saw their face. They promised to fix the problem. All I had to do was pretend the Viserions were responsible for the mistake. And for the rest of the evidence, they promised to arrange it all in, and Cornelius is suffocating with fear, unable to speak. Urban curls his hand into fists, his knuckles turning white. What have you done? How could you? Your ladyship. He suddenly turns to you, as if trying to shield his son. This is my fault. I trusted my son and I failed you in doing so. I beg you have mercy. Abelard shakes his head. And you called my family's honor into question, Urban. Nevertheless, I harbor no desire to kick a man when he is down. Lord Captain, the confession you have obtained means the House Viserion can now be cleared of all charges. But we still do not know who was behind the forgeries, the riots, the plot, the assassination attempts. Someone is committing their foul deeds and sowing chaos right under your subjects' noses. To leave that stone unturned would be dangerous. What is this friend that approached you, Cornelius? How did the two of you communicate? Urban, your son has found the courage to admit his mistake. I'll try and find some compassion for him in my heart. Cornelius Driveston, I hereby sentence you to death immediately. Where did you two communicate, or how? By letter. I received a letter out of the blue one day. It was unsigned, but the person writing already knew about my erroneous calculations. They offered to help me cover up my misdeeds, and in return, I would name the Viserions as the ones who had sabotaged the supply lines. All I had to do was gather together some documents and reports that were listed in one of the letters. That and keep my mouth shut. Alright, well, Driveston seemed like he was genuinely trying to do good. Either that or he's a great actor. But he seemed like he was even acting before the truth had been revealed. Unless he knew his son was going to reveal it. I don't know. Maybe I'm digging too deep there. Initially, I was going to kill the drive stems. But I'll show mercy. Abelard said to do so. Thank you, your ladyship. The governor bows low, then gives his son a look full of bitterness and frustration. And as for your position, I think you will be resigned to a role requiring less responsibility. I shall return to you later. Yeah, I'm going to talk to everybody first, see if there's any more going on.
I tread a path unexplored.
The Gapraks. The lords and ladies sumptuously dressed in the colors of House Gaprak are standing in a half circle around Toriana and her son Vicent. The bodies and faces of almost every other member of this dynasty are covered in large, ornate augmetics. Toriana curtsies to you. Her mechanical voice sounds distant and indifferent. Greetings, your ladyship. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. With a click, her oculars swivel to the seneschal. Abelard, it must be difficult for you to be here under these circumstances, with your house standing accused of such grave crimes. My family, Lady Toriana, is yet to be found guilty of anything. That verdict is for the rogue traitor to reach. Do you really think they are true? I would not take such a responsibility upon myself and rule on their guilt, your ladyship. I do think Governor Drivestem's accusations are worthy of consideration, however. In your opinion, which nobles might have reason to be party to such a conspiracy? She thinks for several moments before replying. Pardon my bluntness, your ladyship, but I will answer truthfully. It could be anyone. Greed, fear, and ideals can drive even the most loyal subjects to do the unthinkable. I've examined the bodies of the assailants that were killed today. All of them are high-functioning servitors. Such servitors are only employed by families close to the Adeptus Mechanicus. Isn't that so? Is it possible to read Toriana's emotions in her heavily augmented face? But her sudden turn toward her family betrays her confusion and surprise. Perplexed whispers bounce from one family member to another. Impossible. We came here by ourselves, without any servitors. We know nothing about it. Your ladyship, thank you for informing us of this. You're absolutely right. My house has indeed been endowed with high-functioning servitors, a blessing for those who revere the Omnissiah. But today, none of our house members were accompanied by them. I found this note. Her fingers grip the paper. Officially high-functioning servitors are employed by my house and my house alone. If such units were to attack the rogue trader, suspicion would instantly fall upon the Gapraks. I assume that this is what the Viserians intended to happen, but they did not expect that the servitors would have this letter on them. That seems stupid of them, huh? Vincent? Ready to serve you, ladyship. How may I help? Oh, we taking you alone, huh? What do you make of the charges? I do not think I can doubt the validity of the accusations, but... His voice trails off, and he seems to retreat into himself for a moment. Before continuing, he takes a deep breath. I'm also not sure that House Viserion had a reason to betray you, your ladyship. I do not know of any instances where their loyalty to you and the Emperor was anything less than unwavering. I know you care for Astardia Viserion. Are you prepared to watch her die? His jaw augmetic screeches slightly. The young man scrutinizes his mother and other family members for a few moments. There is something you ought to know, your ladyship. Today I noticed one of my family members to be in an odd, uncharacteristic mood. Helen Gaprak is my paternal second cousin, once removed. May the Emperor save his soul. Usually reserved and self-possessed. Today he was frantic and anxious, fidgeting with a small piece of paper, and seemingly looking for someone to no avail. When I last saw him, he was headed to the entrance hall where the altars are. Perhaps you should talk to him. That will do. Okay, I'll take my leave. Talk to the Sourbax. Before bowing, Sourbax scrutinizes you with a bitter judgmental look, your ladyship. Hetka, looking like a younger copy of his father, stands at a slight distance, closer to his mother. An expansive yet understated dress serves to highlight the dazzling beauty of Macarius' wife, Regina Sauerback. Oh, is that it? There we go. There we go. Hetka. Members of House Sauerback, led by Macarius, all bear a striking resemblance to one another. With their slender builds and stern looks, they bow to you almost in unison. Do you believe they are guilty? Certainly, Sauerback replies without hesitation. Governor Driveston possesses proof of their guilt, and they have no means by which to refute it. Even if I were to entertain the idea that the Viserions are being framed, how much longer would their house have lasted anyway? It is so ill-prepared for treachery. If it is so ill-prepared for treachery. He addresses Abelard with a slightly mocking tone. My advice to House Viserion would be to not appeal to the rogue trader for help, but instead to simply stop, accept their fate, and not make matters worse for themselves. I cannot remember Imogene von Valancius seeking your advice on what House Viserion should do in this situation. Pay attention, Macarius. Focus on the rogue trader's questions. Who, apart from the Viserions, could have a motive to conspire against me? House Driveston wishing to expand their clout. House Gaprek, who lost their influence at the Kiavagama incident. Sauerback looks back at his family, then turns to you again. House Sauerback, whose patriarch is too direct in his communication with the rogue trader. Anyone could have a reason to conspire against you, and equally they could have none. It is not a question of motive, but of loyalty. Each of your subjects has sworn an oath of loyalty to you, so whose sincerity do you doubt? Know anything about the attack outside? He looks away briefly and replies to you with a curt laugh. I have always thought Toriana too weak to participate in such risky ventures, but it seems I was wrong about her. Alright. Regina? Nothing. Okay. Hetka, really? I thought I'd be able to talk to you. Because he was like, oh, I'll help you out.
Powers unseen uncover my path.
Alright. Astardia. Your ladyship, these accusations against my family simply make no sense. I beseech you to speak with Clementia. As you draw closer, the wardens step aside, bowing respectfully, allowing you to approach the Viserion family. Clementia, tired and slightly disheveled, is the first to bow her head to you in deference. Several men and women behind her follow suit. Your ladyship. The woman stammers as if lost for words. Accept my most humble apologies for failing to greet you properly, and my thanks for agreeing to speak to me before making your final decision. The charges brought by the governor are severe, but I can only assure you of this and swear on my own honor. We are not guilty of the crimes that House Viserion is being accused of. Clementia. A hint of sorrow creeps into Abelard's voice, belying his stern facade. You were acting head of this family. You were supposed to take care of each and every family member. And now you're being accused of treason and collusion against the rogue traitor, and the entire family is facing death? How could you let this happen? Are you truly guilty? Be honest. Clementia. If you know that a member of your family is guilty of the crimes you are being accused of. Abelard. It is your family too, you know. The woman's words burn with defiance. My apologies. I should not lose my composure. No member of House Viserion is involved in a conspiracy against her ladyship. Honor and loyalty are not something we take lightly, and we know whom we serve. The governor claims you forged the documents. The fleet is the primary remit of House Viserion. It is our responsibility. Logistics and supply routes are another area of our responsibility. We have no direct influence on the inner workings of the Adeptus Administratum. The first large-scale deliveries were cancelled after quantities of food were miscalculated by clerks in the Administratum. And then we were faced with incorrect weather data and a meager fuel budget. It was clear that the cause of all these problems was the calculations performed in the Administratum, in one way or another, but no matter how many times we asked, we could not even obtain any clarification on the matter. Found this letter on one of the bodies. While Clementia reads the letter, the Viserions behind her read it over her shoulder. Your ladyship, let us be frank. It would be foolish of me to try to orchestrate something like this, knowing how many wardens are patrolling your palace. I would not have let myself or anyone in my family get involved in such a scheme. They were servitors. Servitors? Is that so? Clementia crosses her arms and furrows her brow, deep in thought. I've encountered servitors that were indistinguishable from normal augmented humans, but only once. They were accompanying several members of House Gaprak. If you're not guilty, who stands to gain from framing you? Anyone, really, Clementia replies in a bitter laugh. The other houses consider us unworthy of our position, and many would jump at the chance to get rid of us and gain control over what was once our domain, the planet's fleet, and logistics at the very least. Lady Theodora chose to grant noble status to House Viserion, but the other houses, which have served the Expanse for millennia, did not welcome the decision. It has led to some difficulties. Where should I start? I'm afraid I cannot be of much help. Talk to the representatives of the other houses, eavesdrop on their retinue, and perhaps you will hear something unusual. Okay. So we got one more thing to do before we pass judgment. They said that somebody went out this way, right? Yeah. Oh, it was the guy we saw earlier. But we didn't have a name for him before, right?
Let's seize the opportunity.
A finely dressed man of middle years is kneeling in front of the altar, his palms folded in prayer close to his face. The implant-free parts of his skin are a sickly blue color. The nobleman does not react to your presence. He does not lift his head. He does not blink. He does not even breathe. Only when you draw closer do you realize that he is dead. Oh shit. Abelard looks at the man, his eyes grim. The colors of House Gaprak. I do not believe he decided to take his own life in such an extravagant way. As far as I know, there is a warden post here, but I do not see any wardens. The seneschal looks around. There is no one to ask about what happened here, or with whom this man spoke before he died. I would like to ask Urban where the palace guard suddenly disappeared to. Harris thinks towards the dead man. A familiar sight. There are poisons that rapidly damage the nervous system, causing paralytic spasms throughout the body once injected. The victims usually suffocate slowly and painfully, unable to call for help. What a surprise. You are versed in the art of underhanded murder. Have you often resorted to the coward's weapon in your life rather than fighting fair? I have. All of my victims were enemies of the Imperium who could not have been reached by any other means. Would you prefer they still be alive, my lord Ufar? Heinrich meets the wolf's menacing gaze with dignity, ignoring the almost palpable wave of threat emanating from the angel of the Emperor. Let's examine the body. Not a good chance. Yes! There are no visible wounds on the body, but near the edge of the gold-trimmed collar you notice a tiny puncture in the blue skin, likely a wound caused by thin needles. Search the pockets. You discover a secret pocket in the lining of the dead man's luxurious jacket. You find a folded piece of paper inside, behind a handkerchief embroidered with the initials HG. Make sure that the rogue trader is attacked by someone loyal. It should appear as if it was all staged to let the Viserion family escape. This is the last assignment. Soon your debt will be paid off in full. Look around. You're almost certain that wardens are usually stationed nearby, but their post is empty. Where have they gone? This would be an excellent question to put to Governor Driveston. Alright, let's go talk to Driveston. The episode's getting a little long. I might have to
Intriguing.
cut it short without finishing this. I can't do it? Oh. Why can't I give him the letter?
Embrace true power.
Oh, there they are. I discovered a dead body. A member of your house, right here in my palace. He died kneeling in prayer. Toriana covers her open mouth with her hand in surprise and, turning to her family, looks for someone among them. Halen, it can't be. Halen, was it? Tell me about him, Toriana. Halen is one of the lower-ranking members of House Gaprak. Despite his advanced age, he never held high office, but he was forever striving to better his position, even beyond his abilities. Many members of my house struggled to cope with the misfortune that befell Kiavagama and our family. Some members could not reconcile themselves to our new position. Halen was one of them. What could have happened? Her visor oculars are fixed on the floor, her fingers restlessly clenching in the fabric of her dress. Toriana, the time to keep silent is long gone. The future of the Von Valancia's trade dynasty and your house are both at stake now. We lost Kiavagama. A truly devastating blow to every member of House Gaprak. I lost all hope for the future, and my kin lost their sense of purpose. We needed time to recover and chart a new course for ourselves. We were and still are more than capable of doing that, but I will not deny it. The other houses have offered us their assistance for their own self-serving ends. Perhaps Halen decided to take them up on one of their offers behind my back. Seneschal bows ever so slightly and speaks quietly so that only you can hear him. Lord Captain, the Gapraks, all or perhaps only some of them, are definitely involved, but I suspect that they were not behind the plot against you. Halen Gaprak could be nothing more than a puppet in the hands of a deft puppet master. We must expose whoever that is if we are to prevent the pestilence of heresy from spreading any further. What do you suggest we do? Interrogate the heads of the Drivestem and Sourback houses. One of them has been pulling the strings here. Once we uncover new evidence, announce that the guilty party will be publicly executed. Before you pronounce the verdict, I suggest focusing on each house in your indictment speech, and I shall observe them. I have known these people for far longer than you have. I know all their gestures, habits, and behavioral quirks. I am sure that I will be able to determine which of them was responsible for the riots based on their behavior. Alright. I couldn't tell her that I found that note. One more thing.
Fate beckons me.
No. Okay. Alright, guys. I think we are going to end the episode here. The episode's getting a little long. And we will continue this in the next one. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'll catch you later.